Hey everybody, it's Dr. Sam Robbins. Now, it doesn't matter how young or old you are, whether you're male or female, most of us want to or need to lose some fat. If not for vanity reasons, for health. So today I'm going to talk about the real secret to long-term, healthy, and almost permanent fat loss. And I know it's a pretty big claim. And I know it's a quote-unquote another fat loss topic. And like most people, you may have done it all and maybe nothing seems to work. And you're probably confused and frustrated. If yes, you're not alone in why I'm doing this today. You see, this is too important of a topic for me not to do because losing excess body fat and maintaining a healthy weight with a good balance of muscle and fat is one of the most important things you can do for your life and for health. Again, if not for vanity reasons, because you'll look and feel younger and feel sexier and more confident, but also for a healthy life because being overweight is a major cause for most health problems, whether it's heart health or cholesterol or blood sugar and blood pressure, maybe hormonal imbalances, depression, pain, diseases, and cancers. Excess fat simply accelerates the whole aging process. And when it comes to the topic of what's the best diet, the truth is that almost any and all diets work in helping you to lose some weight, initially speaking. You see, the problem is that it's very rarely a long-term result. That's why over 95% of people always tend to gain the weight back, and usually even more. Additionally, the goal should never be to lose quote-unquote weight. It should be fat loss. Unfortunately, most diets result in fat, water, and lots of valuable muscle loss. And the longer the diet, and the more drastic and restrictive it is, the more incorrect it is for your body type and genetics, the more muscle you'll actually end up losing over time. While unfortunately, fat loss actually slows down and stops. And these negatives tend to affect women much more so than men. And sadly, aging and getting older only exacerbates the problems even more. Yes, the scale may show lower weight, but your body won't look as good. You see, women will start to lose more breast tissue, facial fat, and muscle, all of which make you look older with more wrinkles and saggy muscles and skin. And the men, we tend to lose even more muscle because we had more to begin with, and we end up just looking quote-unquote skinny fat. And the end result is that your hormones will be completely imbalanced and quote-unquote broken, which is the exact opposite of what you want because genetics aside, you look and feel the way you do based primarily on your hormones. You see, skinny or lean people, who can eat almost whatever they want, they have much better fat-burning hormones than the people who are always struggling to lose weight. You see, genetics and hormones always play a major role. Of course, this doesn't mean that if you've been overweight most of your life, that this is just how it is. Please don't use genetics as a cop-out or an excuse or that's your story. Instead, use it as an indicator that you'll need to probably put in more effort and time. You need to be more strict and specific with the foods that you can and shouldn't eat. You also need to be more patient. And no, it's not due to willpower, nor is it simply as, calories in and calories out when it comes to long-term healthy fat loss. And I say this all because I know more about this topic than most people. Not only because of my educational background and my area of expertise, which is in endocrinology, the study of hormones. I also have a master's in nutrition, and I'm also a certified nutritional specialist, which is all great, right? But more importantly, and more valuable, I think, is not only have I consulted hundreds of people about this topic for over 25 years, I've personally been on some kind of a special diet or eating plan most of my entire life. In fact, I started my first weight loss diet when I was only 11 years old in the 6th grade. Basically, I was overweight, slow, and weak, right? I wanted to play sports with the guys, but I was usually one of the last pick people when selecting teams because basically I was just fat and out of shape. So I started the most innovative diet on the planet. I simply ate less food. Yep, you can tell basically I was a boy genius at such a young age, right? But seriously, it wasn't that complicated. I would normally come home after school and my mom would make me this big plate of spaghetti and meatballs. And then I'd wash it all down with a big glass of cola and crushed ice. That entire thing must have been at least 600 calories or more, probably 1,000 calories, since my mom is just a really good cook. Of course, I got a lot of arguing from my mom, right? Why are you doing this? You're perfect just the way you are. Or why don't you like my cooking anymore, right? Just a lot of guilt. But I was headstrong and I knew I had a goal, and this was the fastest solution. The truth is, this was the only solution I knew of at such a young age. Since then, I've been on all sorts of diets. You see, I tried to gain muscle for varsity basketball, but I ended up losing weight and muscle because I followed the wrong diet for my body type and my metabolism. I also tried very high carb diets for track and field, but I ended up just getting slow and sluggish. I also tried the original Atkins diet, a real ketogenic diet, very high fat, little protein, and no carbs, way back in 1994. Yes, way before the ketogenic diets became a cool trend like it is now. However, my performance at the gym and in sports suffered dramatically. I was slower and weaker. I did lose some fat, right? But I also lost a lot of muscle. Also, my thyroid levels dramatically were slower, and I ended the diet because of that. Now, I've tried various intermittent fasting diets, all of which just didn't work with my metabolism and my personality. Now, again, I lost muscle over time. Personally, I think it's a great diet for some people, and it was actually an easier diet to follow, but again, not for my genetics and my goals. Now, I've also been a vegan, but my testosterone levels dropped by more than half, and so did my sex drive, and again, I started to lose muscle gradually. Granted, this was actually one of my favorite diets because there's a lot of health benefits, and I never have really been a big fan or taste of protein and meat. Speaking of which, I've also tried very high protein diets, up to 600 grams daily, just to see how much extra muscle I can gain. Sadly, I could only do it for about a month because I just felt like crap, right? Slow, sluggish, and bloated all the time. And I could list even more diets, the paleo diet, anti-inflammatory diet, juicing and fasting, and so on and so forth. All worked initially. All had some sort of benefits depending again on the goals. Unfortunately, they all failed to be a long-term solution. For me anyway, and as the statistics show for most people. Because the truth is that the best type of diet is the one that you can follow daily, long-term, month after month, year after year. Of course, now the real question is, what is the best type of diet for you? Well, with my private clients, I take into account lots of factors when creating a diet or eating plan. Their past history and family ethnicity. So we do a DNA analysis and also genetics and so forth. Their current health concerns. They're concerned about diseases or cancers and so forth. Hormone levels, testosterone, estrogens, thyroid, growth hormone, and so forth. Their age and sex, male versus female. Short and long-term goals. Their lifestyle, their somatotype, their activity level. Do they exercise? Do they need to? Do they use weights, cardio? Their metabolic type, their blood type, their likes and dislikes based on food, their food allergies, even their personality type, and so forth. Now, someone will say, oh, geez, you're crazy, Dr. Sam. That's just way too much effort. That's too complicated. There's no clinical proof. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, maybe to 99% of people simply because they don't understand all of these factors, each playing a key role in helping you achieve long-term goals, which is a solution that will help you lose fat while preserving or even gaining muscle. Something that dramatically improves and optimizes your youth hormones. Something that gives you more energy and vitality. Something that improves your brain function and memory. Something that increases your well-being and sex drive. Basically makes you feel younger. Something that reduces your aches and pains. And also something that improves digestion and nutrient absorption, especially as we get older. Most importantly, making it easy and fun, so it's sustainable long-term without daily willpower. An eating plan that can be followed all the time, anywhere and everywhere, whether you're at home, with the kids, or on vacation, at work, restaurants, parties, so on and so forth. Because eating tends to be a psychological and emotional thing for many people. For example, it's done in groups primarily, right? Dinner with the family, going out on dates, being with your friends, coworkers, the holidays, parties, and so forth. And when your diet is very restrictive, you will not stick to it long term because you can't be social. You can't enjoy yourself. And that's why willpower never works long term. What does work is making the right decisions and making them daily habits. Then, after a few weeks and months, your subconscious kicks in and you're eating well without giving it any additional thought. You'll see positive results, you'll have progress, you'll feel great, and all this reinforces this new eating plan, and thus you continue to do it daily, all the time, effortlessly. Not to mention the improvements in hormones and dopamine and serotonin and so forth continue to reward you mentally, emotionally, and physically. You no longer see this as a diet or something you have to do. It's something you get to do because you just love the results. You love how you look and feel. So what does all this mean for you, right? So after all of this, you may be thinking, okay, great, I get it. This all makes sense. But what the heck is that perfect diet for me? And that's a great question. And I'll go into it in part 2 of this video, which you'll get the information below in a second. But don't worry, I won't leave you hanging today, all right? Because below this video, I'll give you a couple very important links for you, and I'll tell you about them in a few seconds. The point with this longer initial video was not to waste your time, all right? I know many people these days want some kind of easy solution in 60 seconds or less. However, my goal with this video was to let you know that there are many factors that go into losing fat long-term and being healthy the entire time, and why most diets don't work. Listen, after 35 plus years, trying dozens of different diets and counseling hundreds of people, I have found some universal guidelines to long-term, safe, and healthy fat loss, which I'll be revealing in the next video, which will be released in a few days. So first of all, make sure you're subscribed if you aren't already, and also click that notification icon so you'll be notified when part 2 is released. However, as promised, below there are 2 important links. One of them is another video that reveals the 10 weight loss myths. And it's a great video series. I urge you to go see that. Now, the second link is you'll discover how to quickly optimize your fat burning hormones year round. And as always, thanks for listening and have a happy and healthy day.